I'm so excited to welcome Rebekah to our team call. Like I said in my post, she is somebody that I've wanted to have come onto our team page, our team call for a long time now. And she just so graciously was like, yes, I'd love to come. And so she, as Kara said, is Plexus famous, but she's kind of like Joanna Gaines in the fact that she's got like millions of people who love her, but you feel like you're best friends with her. She has no clue who you are, but you feel like you're best friends with her. And so I think that that is something that has really helped her with her success. Just being real and authentic. She's got over 15,000 Instagram followers. She's very passionate about social media. And she's also a jewel trainer. So we are in great momentum right now, Rebekah. We've got a team that's just thriving and moving, and we are hungry for what you have to share. So we'll save questions and all that for later if we have a few minutes. Take it away, girl.
Okay, you are so sweet, Emily Burgess. I always get so tickled at her social media and feeling like I know Emily because of social media. And so I feel like she's my friend. And I feel like you were saying nice things, which always embarrasses me. But my connection went out by the grace of God, because I seriously do like get flustered when people say stuff like that. So that is so nice, whatever you said. And thank you. But I am really excited to come on here. I feel so much more motivated, and it makes me want to work when I'm around people that want to work, want to grow. And so I love doing calls like this because whether it's asking questions or hearing what y'all are doing on y'all's team, and even just seeing people show up, that to me just keeps reminding me people want Plexus, people are going places, and I want to be around working people like y'all. So thank you for inviting me on. My name's Rebekah Fowlkes, and I am from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have been doing Plexus about 6.5 years. I probably have a little bit of an odd story, or a little bit different in why I got into Plexus. And I did network marketing about 10 years ago, and I had like moderate success. I was paying my mortgage. I was basically doing it because I had 2 little babies at home, and it was a party company, and I loved that I could get out of the house and go do the parties at that season of my life. However, I got pregnant with the 3rd baby, and I do this really fun thing where I throw up like multiple times a day for the whole 40 weeks, like even the day I'm going to the hospital to have the baby, still doing that. So I don't gain a lot of weight, but I do live on popcorn chicken and chocolate milk for like the whole 40 weeks. And anyway, so total side note, squirrel. Okay, so once I got out of network marketing, because I was sick, I couldn't do the parties. I can't really sell like lipstick and beauty products when I'm vomiting multiple times a day. I put a pin in network marketing, but I loved it. And I thought, I'm going to come back to that one day. And so we had moved my family from Little Rock, Pennsylvania, and we were up there, and I was so bored. It was this tiny little town. There was like a Kmart, and that was it for like 30, 45 miles. So it was like one trip out of the house a week to go to Walmart. I was just so bored. I thought, what could I do? And I thought, I'm going to do network marketing again. And I kept looking for a company that I was like, I felt good about. My other company that I'd done before was all plant-based. And so I had been talking about natural products and plant-based products. So I didn't want to veer from that because that was already kind of part of my brand. And when my friend messaged me about Plexus and I looked at the compensation plan, I went, yeah, I'll do that one. Let's go. And so I just jumped in, and I basically tried the products for like 3 or 4 days. My mom had been taking them and telling me, you want this stuff. But I jumped in, and I just started calling people and being like, let's do this together. Let's do this. It'll be fun. They go on trips. Like, let's just do it because it was fun. And then the longer I took the products, the more that I believed in the products, the more I had a testimony. I got off lots of medications for my thyroid and anxiety. I was on all kinds of vitamins up there because there's like you get 30 days of sunshine. And so anyway, I started noticing I lost 15 pounds, just and I wasn't taking naps every day, all these good things. So that was kind of my story. I went emerald in about a year, diamond about 6 months after that. And we have had a strong, growing diamond team since then. And I have made so many friends. I feel like God has just like gifted me these people that I thought I didn't need any more friends. I've always been someone that just like loves people. But my dearest heart friends are in Plexus now, and either on my team or sideline friends that I just am so, I love the people that are attracted to Plexus. And I'm so thankful for the community and the leaders and all the things. So I love Plexus. The way that I built my business was through social media, because I was living in Pennsylvania and my whole, life was back in Arkansas. And so I've always been someone, I was like the first graduating class to be able to get Facebook. You had to have that .edu email address back in 2004. And I can still remember my friends like saying, we've got to get on the Facebook thing. I was like, that's so weird. But I figured it out and I really liked it. And so I kind of almost like grew up on Facebook. And so it's always been natural for me to share a lot, because that's just what you did. Like that was just kind of like, I turned 18, got on Facebook, and you just spill all your stuff. And I've always been an open book, and people are like, oh, is this too much information? I'm like, not for me. Go ahead and tell me. I'll tell you my stuff. You tell me yours. And so I've loved social media in that. And I think another reason that I've been successful on social, I want to talk to y'all about social media because that's what I like, is because I love anything social. And so, I mean, I have like sent baby gifts to people I don't know on Instagram. Like I find people that I like on Instagram, and they're like, I consider them my friend. Like I'm checking in on them. How you doing? How you doing? And that's a tip that I feel like people are like, how do I get more followers? And people aren't paying attention to me. And I usually want to ask them, well, are you talking to other people? Are you going and sending them direct messages? Are you commenting on their stuff? I can't tell you how many like books and notebooks, or I want to put this in Excel, but I skipped that class, skipped a lot of classes in college, which is why I did not graduate, but I did get the degree in Facebook. And of just finding all these different groups of people that I'm making sure that I am talking to and that I'm making sure that I'm communicating with, because I love the social part of social media, and it's always made me feel connected to people. I love hearing stories. I love telling stories, and that's just always been a fun part of social for me. But what I have recognized over the last few weeks is that social is not what it used to be just a few weeks ago. And if social is kind of stressing you out right now because you're like, I don't have the perfect post, I don't have anything new to say, there's not really anything here that I can, curate up, and I've already shared all my cute pictures and I haven't had a shower in 3 days, I would just tell you that right now is a time to document and not create. Don't try to have the perfect post with the perfect lighting and the perfect setup and your kids doing the perfect things, because it feels inauthentic. It feels not relatable. And right now in this crazy time where we've got Instagram is saying it has 40% more usage right now than a month ago. That is a ton. 40% more people are engaging on social media than they used to be. Then we know we want to be hanging out on social media because people are hanging out there. And not only that, I was looking at a report today that said not only are more people hanging out on the platforms, they're like looking at pictures and reading captions longer. Like they're not just doing the scroll. They're like actually taking in what's going on in the picture, what's going on in the caption. And so this is a time to tell your stories. Even if you told it like a couple of years ago, I do this thing sometimes I have to remind myself, like, just because I told a story 2 years ago, or just because I, told how I felt about this deal, not everyone was paying attention and not everyone remembers. Like it's okay to go ahead and tell it again. And so Something that I put on my website yesterday, which is just RebekahFowlkes.com, although it is spelled funny, but you can look up there at how it's spelled. That was a social media audit, and you can print this off and use it for the next, 30 days or whatever to put on there. Okay, I posted it this time of day. This was kind of a snapshot of what my post was about. It was picnic outside with kids or chalking the driveway, whatever, kind of title it so that you know what it was, and then put the likes and the comments, and kind of that way you can track some engagement percentage and see what's working for you. And it just lets you could even go back for the last 30 days. I mean, we've kind of been in this deal for a few weeks, so kind of see what's been working over the last 3 weeks. Maybe, ooh, this is when I got this girl messaged me about this. And so that's just a tool. You can print it off. It's a social media audit that's handy for me, and I think it would be for you too. Another thing would be right now to use video, being able to connect, being able to see people's faces. You can do it in your Instagram story for sure. But the number one thing that gets people to come to leave the feed and come to my profile, which means they check out more of my pictures, do they want to follow me, all those things, is when I post a video. And IGTV, if you're going to post a video and it's less than a minute, you can just pop it directly on your feed. But if it is over a minute, then you have to download a second app, which is so annoying, I know, but all you got to do is download the IGTV app. And once it connects to your Instagram. So once you connect it, like once you load it into Instagram TV, it automatically pushes it to Instagram for you. And I would say anything, like I always am shooting for less than 3 minutes. Like this does not have to be a webinar. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be, and great, if it's less than a minute, you don't even have to use the IGTV. That's great too. But there's something about the video on your feed. It starts automatically, and it just draws people in. They get to see you. They get to hear your voice. It shows up in the feed. There's some people that still aren't watching Instagram stories. So it kind of just helps to get a little bit more contact, and it helps that, that know, like, trust factor. That's basically what influence is when they know you, they like you, they trust you, they feel like you're their friend, and all those things. And it really is you. It's just you and them being able to see if they connect with you, hear your story, see what's going on with your kids, see inside your house, all those things that just help people feel like, oh yeah, I know her. So that when you do talk to them, they do trust you more than that. Okay. So another thing that I would tell you is to plan out your post. And I have felt a little bit like paralyzed with that too. So, and I love social media, and I've always planned out my posts a month-ish in advance. Sometimes I might go, I don't feel like posting that, or something might come up that I may swap out. But I've always not always, but like for the last probably year and a half, 2 years, I've been planning out 2 to 4 weeks in advance. But right now that just feels awkward. But planning like on Sunday or on Saturday, or just kind of like, also when you're in a good mood, when you're in like check your energy zone. Like, am I in an high energy place? Because if you're just kind of like feeling down, or you're tired, or you're overwhelmed with life, that is not a time to try to be creative. It's like freedom, like after you've gone on a walk, or your husband says, I'm gonna do the dishes, or that you've woken up early and you're a morning person, whatever that looks like. When you're in a good energy spot, try to plan out the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of your content. It doesn't mean you write the whole caption. It doesn't mean that you have all the things, but sometimes it can be paralyzing when you get up and you're like, I need to post something today, and I have no idea what to post. But if you will kind of do it, like just kind of having an idea for a post about a week out, that can go a long way with just your creativity. And there's something like about, for me, if I know, I'm posting about this in a couple days, well, for the first couple, I'm kind of marinating on it, thinking, oh, I should say this about it, or this would be a funny quote for that, or this happened and this could go along with it, or this is actually a direction I can kind of pivot on instead of how I was going to go. So that is just a tip for me, that it makes me feel like I kind of know where I'm going. Check those national days. See if there's like something on the national days calendar. See if there's something that you can incorporate. Then it's a trending deal. Like today was National caramel popcorn day. And so I saw my friend, like they were having a movie night and she was making homemade caramel popcorn. Like maybe that, I know that's kind of a silly example, but I mean, name a food and there's a food day for it. And all kinds of things that sometimes it's just a writing prompt and you just are like, just give me something. And so kind of planning out those posts a week in advance is helpful. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to tell y'all was think about who you're talking to. I kind of joke that, and if you do like anything like social media marketing, like you study courses or marketing in general, and they're like, hey, you want to niche down or find your niche and all that. A lot of times they're going to ask you to identify your ideal customer avatar or who's your best buyer. I have a blog on my site that's about your best buyer and how to identify that. And her name is Julie. And I kind of know all these things about Julie. She's in her mid-30s. She went to college. She's got 3 kids. They're really fine. They're in a single income family, but she's kind of fine now, but she's looking ahead and going, ugh, life is only getting more expensive. I'm kind of open to thinking about other ways I can earn income. And so that's who I'm talking to in my post. And I kind of have all these things written down about Julie. And when I'm posting, I'm thinking about that because also that helps me to identify what her pain points are, what her objections might be, and then I can speak to those in my post because I know Julie, she cares about being a healthy mom and doing healthy things for her kids, but she's not an ingredient guru. And she really just wants someone to say, hey, if you want a health hack and you're still going to go through Chick-fil-A today, but you want to know that you've given your kids something good, here is something for you. Hey, you're trying to work out, you're trying to do all the things, but you don't want to have to go and research all the best ingredients for everything. Look, this is all you got to take. And so that's who I'm speaking to when I'm writing my post. Another thing that I think is really important is to make sure that you are strong, especially right now, that you are strong, that what you have, especially like in our products and in our, income option, that this is something that works. Because what I found is a lot of times, whether it's the skincare or weight loss or health issues, people have a lot of insecurity built around whatever their issue is because they've probably tried other things before. Sorry. Or they're having some just insecurities about that subject because it's, a vulnerability for them. And so you need to be the one that's strong. You're the one and that's why you identify the pain points because you're saying, hey, I know you probably tried everything before and you're tired of all these systems that are taking up all the counter space in your bathroom. And you're thinking, I have already done too many things today. Washing my face just needs to be easy. And I got it. It's right here. This is going to be the thing that solves all your problems. And when you say that with confidence, they don't want someone that's wishy-washy, like, this might be maybe a fit for you, that maybe, da, 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 da. Like, no, say, I got what you want, girl. Like, I know you don't want to do all the research. You don't want to have to worry about all the, am I going to have to spend $400 on skincare? No, this is something in the morning, something at night. This is what you got. I am a huge reader. Like, I'm reading 4 books right now. One of them's on Audible. If I'm moving around my house, I'm listening to something. But I am reading, what is on the bottom of that? Okay. But this is the book I'm reading right now. And I read his book I read last year was Building a Story Brand. That was probably my top 3 favorite books of the year. But his name's Donald Miller. And this book is called Marketing Made Simple. And I just got it like a week ago. But he said something so funny in it that I wanted to read. He's talking about his wife and how he met her and he was kind of trying to play it cool and be kind of passive and all this. And then she ended up going out with someone else and it took him 3 years before he could ask her on another date. And so anyway, he says, the reason I didn't ask her out though was the same reason many of us don't ask our customers to commit. We're a little scared of rejection and we don't want to come off pushy. When the time is right though, we have to make our intentions known or we will lose the relationship. We often believe that being passive is a way of respecting our customer. We don't ask for the sale because we don't want them to be bothered. However, the last thing we want our customers saying is something along the lines of, I really like that brand. I consider them a friend, but I don't buy anything from them. I do, however, make out with their competitor all the time. I got so tickled over that. But that's so true. It's like we're kind of talking about the value of gut health, and we're saying why inflammation matters, and we're saying why, oh, and you're going to want something for your kids, but we're not like super strong and like, no. I've got what you're looking for. And the probiotics you're getting from Walmart does not have digestive enzymes or antifungals in it. And this does. So message me and I'm going to help you. And you're going to get this in your mailbox in 3 days. You want to just be really strong, and you're leading with strength, because I know you believe in what we have to offer. And I think there's just something, and I don't think men do this as much as women, but we're just so scared of being, me too, of being pushy and acting like just being salespeople. But I want us, like, and I know we say all the time, like, we're not in sales, we're just sharing. We are in sales. We are in sales, and we can be confident that we are in sales because what we have to offer is worth selling. What we have to offer will make a difference. What we have to offer is a service to our friends, because we know how it can change their health, their finances, their immunity, their anxiety, all the things. And so come in with strength and say, friend, and you can do it with empathy. Like, I know this is your objection. I know this is what you're struggling with. Everyone's struggling with it. Like, you can come in and like identify this is a struggle for you and this stinks, but with the authority, you want to do empathy and authority, what he talked about in his other book, empathy and authority. And that is when you're going to be someone that's super successful in sales. Okay. I hope I didn't talk too long. Okay. So I think I have a few minutes left. If y'all have any questions, husband, gosh, child's great. Oh, sorry. Confidence and not cockiness. That's right. But did anybody have any questions? And it can be about social media, or it could be about anything.
I got a question. So when you're planning your posts, where is it that you're kind of like putting them to plan them, as far as like the scheduling or an app, or how are you kind of putting them together? Because I'm finding I'm taking like pictures and screenshots. I have like thousands of pictures and I'm trying to scroll and it doesn't seem organized at all.
I totally feel you. I have a social media group called Social Made Simple, and people can join that. You can see it on my website, and it comes to your inbox every month, a whole deal of post. It's $19 a month, and you can check that out. Or here's this thing. I was like, I know I have it. So I bought this thing off Amazon. Of course, it's probably not an essential item, so it may take you till the end of April to get it. But I love this. And this is a 5-year planner, and all it is a month. Like, that's literally for 5 years. Anyway, and so I use this. Or I just use, like, my planner is the days of the week, but then there's also a monthly version. And so, yeah, here it is. So, like, where it breaks it down, like, okay, here's my week at a view, but at the beginning it has the month. I'll put my social stuff right here, or just go Google April calendar and print that off, and you can fill it in right on there. Or if you do want apps, I've used Planoly, 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 Plan, Plann, Later. All of those are post schedulers. And the cool thing about the digital ones is it'll show you, like, if you're into this, what it would look like on your grid. And then some of them will even allow you to manually push it out. Like, from there, you can connect it to your Instagram and push it. They will tell you that it will let you schedule a post, which would be so nice. But Instagram gets real finicky about, it'll change it, and then you'll think that it was going to push it out, and it ended up not, because Instagram won't allow the third-party posting apps sometimes. So I say use those apps to plan it, and just so you kind of can see what it looks like if you want to. But then you can just copy and paste and push it out over there to actually schedule it.
I have a kind of weird question. I feel whenever I post on Instagram, like, the format never looks like, I'm always like, how do they do that? How do they get, like, the wording?
Text.
Yeah, like the text, how do you like format it? I'm always like,
Yes.
and then I do it in my notes and I think it's all good. And then I like copy it from my notes and it like, I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm gonna show you a
Like
trick.
like account ones, like it looks so nice. And I'm always like, how do they do that?
Hold on. I'm going to show you this trick. Let me see if I can share my screen. Oh, that's not the share my screen thing. Okay, hold on. Because that is so annoying and it is so easy whenever you learn it. Actually, can I even share my screen? Yeah, but I can. Okay. So this is what you do. Trust. Well, is it doing that? Dun, dun, dun. Did it? Hold on. Okay, basically, maybe I can do it, just show you. Okay, maybe I don't even have to do that. See, whenever you type something on here, and you can see how this is all spaced out, but you have to go to the end of every sentence and make sure there's not a space after the period. Does that make sense? Like naturally, whenever you hit return and it skips a line, it will just naturally put a space in there. But if you can go back to where that little cursor's blinking and make sure that you delete the space so that the cursor's right up next to the period, then whenever you copy and paste, it'll be spaced out on Instagram. If you use quotation marks or an emoji, it messes it up and it doesn't work. So just know that. And I think if you Google text formatter, there's things, I've never used those, but I think that you can type that in and it will give you, that will be another way you can do it. Does that make sense, Kenzie?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute.
I have 3 questions. Sorry. Okay, so I know that you're real passionate about Instagram. We still have a fairly new team who has a big warm market with Facebook. When did you transition your focus from Facebook to Instagram? Was that kind of after you had built up with your warm market? Okay, so would you recommend stick with your warm market first, whichever medium that would be, Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, it's really hard to do 2 at the same time.
Yes.
I really just do Instagram now, but I mean, and I still will recruit off of Facebook people that have been my friend for 15, 20 years that just now responding. So I haven't put a blog like that. I think that's like the first blog on my website. Should I do Facebook or Instagram? And I definitely think you're going to have the most influence with people that actually know you. So Facebook is so much easier because you're just getting them to believe in Plexus. They already believe in you. And on Instagram, a lot of times it's a whole new audience. And so first they have to trust you and then they have to trust Plexus. So it's just a longer, I would start with Facebook for sure.
Okay.
For a long time.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then my next 2 questions, I guess, kind of are together. So I see a lot of people are doing stories all day, every day, and not posting on their feed as often. So I guess my question would be like, how often are you posting on your feed or doing a story on your feed? And then my second question to that would be, how often are you sharing about Plexus with both your story and your feed?
Okay. So the first one, how often am I posting, like actually just posting period on my stories and my feed? In a perfect world, I would say post on your wall like for 3 to 5 times a week, and then posting on your Instagram story like 7 to 10 times a day. And at first that feels so crazy because you're like, what in the actual heck can I post about? And like almost every day I post like something about my coffee or about a picture of my flowers outside. Like it's very repetitive. But what I'll say to that is it feels familiar to your audience. And so it's these little things that creates that know, like, and trust factor, where they know where you're sitting in the morning. They know that you're reading this devotional, or you're sitting there with your kids watching the, Peppa the Pig, whatever. And so it creates the familiarity, and that creates trust. But I somewhere between 7 to 10 times a day is probably my goal, because the more frequently that you're posting, it's moving you back to the front of the lineup. And so people are more likely to click on you. And so the more that I'm posting, the more views I will end up getting. And so I try to post somewhere in that realm.
And that would be not 7 to 10 times at once. You're saying like spreading it out, so that way it's being pushed back. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yep. And on that note, like if I'm doing a video, it's in 15-second increments. And so I might do 4 of those little clips at one time. So I'm counting each of those little clips as 4, that's 4 different times that I posted because of the little dots. I don't know. Okay. How often am I posting about Plexus? I'm probably posting about once a week on my feed, and then once every, probably not every day, but somewhere between every 2 to 3 days. Now, I have an older diamond team, and I am in this season that I'm in trying to cultivate new relationships. And when I was running and blowing and going, or if I was working for a shopping spree or something right now, I would be posting every day on my Instagram stories about Plexus. And I would probably be posting twice a week about Plexus in my feed. And on Facebook, I would say like every couple days too. But the stories, it just, because there's a more quantity, you can do it more frequently. But yeah. And right now, because people are on social so much more, I would say you can post about it more, because people are looking for ways to make money from home, and people are looking for ways to improve their health. So I would say you can post about it more, because more people are paying attention right now.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
What do you think about Facebook stories versus Instagram stories? A lot of people will shift it over so it's the same thing. And I know like there's different cultures between Facebook and Instagram. And so what I see from Facebook, like if I'm frequently posting on stories, my views actually go down, versus like occasionally, like I'll put one on there and then I'll have like 300 people see this Facebook story. So I don't know, what's your philosophy on that? Or do you think like when we're working both, should we have them all be the same? Like for me, I feel like Facebook, people just scroll, versus Instagram, it's like all stories. People just watch the stories.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that I get way more views and like way more percentage of my following watches stories on Instagram. And I would say whatever account so you can't push stories from Facebook to Instagram, but you can push them from Instagram, and then it also push it to Facebook. But of course you can always disconnect that or just choose which stories. If you're wanting to build on Facebook, then I would be posting for that culture, for that network. And if you're posting, like I'm posting on Instagram and my Facebook is kind of a second tier that I'm worried about. So I'm posting for my Instagram people, and the Facebook, I don't even check the views because I'm just not paying attention to that. So I don't know if that's helpful.
Thank you.
Well, so we only have 1 minute left, and I don't want it to just hang up on us rudely, and I want to respect everybody's time. Accountability Girls will just click this link. As soon as we get off here, we'll click this link and jump back on for accountability for just like 10 minutes. Rebekah, thank you so much for all of these tips. I have a page and a half of notes, and just as you guys have your notes, just remember it's Rebekah Fowlkes, REBEKAH, Fowlkes is FOWLKES.com. That's her website. She talked about that social media outlet. using that for 30 days to track your engagement. So lots of great notes I'll be sharing on our team page. You guys are great. We'll see you, some of you tonight. And Rebekah, thank you for everything. You guys take care. Bye-bye.